Hello and welcome to our live broadcast. Today I will be sharing with you 4 very simple and innocent things that you could be doing that could be slowing down the progress that you're hoping for with your intermittent fasting. So welcome if you're jumping on live with us or you're joining us for the rebroadcast. Please know we appreciate you being part of this community. When you jump on, please make sure that you leave a comment so that we know that you stopped by. We appreciate that both in our live streaming as well as when I come back and review comments in our rebroadcast viewers as well. If you're new, please take a second to hit that subscribe button if you're joining us on YouTube, or that like button on Facebook. And then on YouTube, there's a little bell icon. Definitely take a second to hit that as well. That way you'll be notified when we go live and you won't miss any live broadcasts. And then when we post these as a rebroadcast, you'll be notified as well. So today we are going to be talking about 4 very simple and innocent things that you could be doing in your everyday lifestyle that could really be stalling the progress that you're hoping for with intermittent fasting. And I talk a lot here about the difference between dabbling with this lifestyle and going all in. And it's usually the dabblers or the non-trusters, I guess is the best way to say it. And I get it when you don't trust information that's coming from the internet or that you need to read scientific data. We talked about all that on Monday. But those things in themselves could really be just the simple things that could be stalling you from the progress that you're hoping for. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. So the one thing that could possibly be keeping you from getting the results that you want is dairy. Now, I personally don't think that there's any such thing as bad food. I do totally believe that there is just food that is bad for individual people. But when we're talking about dairy and we're talking about how dairy is processed, I really want you to start considering what it is you're putting in your body and why you're putting those things in your body. Now, dairy is one of the most highly processed foods that we have in our market today. So if you are lucky enough to live on a farm, or you have your own cow and you know what your cow is eating and you know how your cow is being treated, and you're the person who's milking that cow, and from milking the cow to serving your milk at your dinner table or what it is you're doing at your breakfast table, then I would say dairy is probably a totally okay thing to put into your life. It's the process that dairy is manufactured and produced in our society today, which is really leading us to the problems that we have with dairy. And the biggest thing is inflammation. And for a lot of us, also dairy intolerance. And for my family, every single person in my family is intolerant to dairy. That has not always been the case. The intolerance has become more progressive and so much more obvious as time has gone on and as the industries have changed. So if you're noticing bloating, if you're noticing inflammation that doesn't go away, if you don't understand why it is that your results are stuck or stalling, I would take a really close look at where dairy is entering into your life. And remember, dairy doesn't always have to mean that you're pouring yourself a big fat glass of milk. Dairy is occurring in a lot of foods that are just processed in general. So the best thing to do is read all of your ingredients labels. Look for things like whey, look for things like casein, look for things like carrageenan. All of those things are milk byproducts as well, and could be very innocently keeping your body in a state of inflammation or bloatedness, or causing you some sort of digestive upset. So dairy is definitely one of those things you want to consider. Butter, milk, cheese, sour creams, yogurts, all of those things also you want to look at closely and consider whether you really need them in your nutritional life, or could you actually run a little test, eliminate them for a couple of weeks, see how you look and feel, and then reintroduce them and see how your body responds. The second thing that could be very innocently stalling the progress that you're hoping for with intermittent fasting and changing some things in your nutritional lifestyle is not fasting long enough. And I know if you're new to this lifestyle and you haven't had any experience with fasting, and if you're suffering from things like hypoglycemia, or you are just super addicted to sugar or carbs in general, or your body is just accustomed to constantly being fed throughout the day, the thought of going 20 hours in a clean fasted state seems impossible. And I feel you. I understand what you're thinking. I used to think the same thing. And then I got sick. And when I got sick, I was ready to go all in and do anything that was necessary to get myself back on track and back to feeling healthy. And when I finally committed to doing a 20-hour clean fast, everything in my life changed. Remember, a clean fast is exactly that. You are allowing your sick body to have the opportunity to flush out everything that's backed up in your system and reset itself. If you do this for a consecutive amount of days, you will immediately start to see those results start to happen. But you have to mentally, emotionally, and physically commit to these longer fasts in the intermittent fasting arena in order for your body to really have ample enough time to work out what's clogging it up and really get your body back into that reset state. There is so much information out there about how women should and should not be fasting. And what I always like to recommend is for you to consider the information out there. Ask yourself how what it is you're doing is working for you. And if you're not happy with the results, consider a different route. What we're finding here in this community with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of women just like you who are suffering is that 20-hour clean fast while you're in the process of healing your body is the sweet spot. It is the spot that you will become fat adaptive. It is the spot that you will have an opportunity to really drain out some of those backed up cells that you have. It will be the opportunity for you to clear out your brain and really start creating an opportunity for your body to get back to healing itself. So consider longer fasts if what you're doing currently is not working for you. The third thing is not being consistent. And this goes back to trusting the process and going all in. You have to stay consistent with this lifestyle, especially when you're in the healing phase. Once your body becomes healed and you have experienced some of the amazing magic that we have going on here in this community, you will begin to trust the process. And once you trust the process and you understand all the things that I'm explaining here because you've experienced them firsthand and you're living it and you're feeling it, then consistency is that thing that just becomes your norm. It's a habit you've created. It's the mindset that you have developed around the lifestyle that you have created for yourself. But until you get to that place, while you're still in the healing process, you have to stay consistent. And I want you to think about, as we go into the weekend, what it is you're doing in your fasted state and what it is you're doing in your feasted state. And how consistent are you with the goals that you have set for yourself and what it is that you are envisioning for yourself as a healed woman. How many times are you making exceptions for those, well, it's just one time, or this one little bite, or this one glass of this can't hurt anything. And if you start adding up all those times that you're making exceptions and all those times that you're justifying things, you'll realize very quickly that you're not being consistent with fasting long and feasting well. What you have to do is just regroup, go back to the basics, and eliminate all the excuses and commit to going all in. When you commit to going all in, the consistency starts to set in and you'll start taking away a lot of those exceptions and excuses. It is not our responsibility as mothers or grandmothers to clear off our kids or our grandkids' plates. It is not our responsibility to share sandwiches with them. It is not our responsibility to buy them snacks and then consume them ourselves. We have to get real with what it is that we want to have for our aging bodies, how we want to look and feel, and how authentically we're choosing to live our lives. And the consistency will help you really produce an authentic life for yourself. So keep track of those things that you're justifying. Keep track of those excuses and those exceptions that you're making for yourself. And I bet you there are a lot more than you think there are once you actually start tracking them and making a list of them or journaling them for yourself. And then the fourth thing that could be keeping you from getting the results that you want, and that is blindly following other people's advice. And I'm going to take that a step further, and that is waiting for other people to feed you. You, as a grown-up woman who wants desperately to look and feel your best, who wants to have the energy that you once had, who wants to have a clear and functioning mind and memory. You have to learn how to make decisions for yourself, and you have to learn how to take care of yourself. We can no longer depend on a diet society or a fitness guru or even a nutrition guru to tell us how we are supposed to be taking care of our body. We need to reacquaint ourselves with our own body. We need to tap into the signs and signals that it is sending us, and then we need to act accordingly. When I was consuming meat that was in too high of a consumption for my body, I immediately noticed it. If I were following keto experts, I would think that there was something wrong with my body and that it was just me and that what I was consuming couldn't be the problem because everybody else is getting such amazing results. I know for a fact my body cannot break down and process high quantities of animal protein. I function my best when I have very limited to no animal protein at all. I know that by the signs and signals my body is sending me. I know that if I consume corn, I get the biggest, heaviest, most painful bags under my eyes. And if I stop consuming corn, they go away. I know when I consume soy, my hormones go completely out of whack. Why would I take the advice of someone else to consume things that have corn in them or soy in them or up my animal protein when I know 100% because I have a really keen relationship with my own body and I know how to listen to those signs and signals? Why would I take the advice of someone else knowing that it goes against what my body naturally needs to look and feel its best? Don't blindly take advice from me. Consider what I say and then experiment with your own body. Try some things out. See how you look and feel. If it doesn't work for you, tweak what you have going on until it works for you. And then find your own path to living this intermittent fasting and keto-like lifestyle so that you can be your best and show up for the people that you love, including yourself, every single day, happy and energetic about living your life. So 4 things that could very innocently be keeping you from the results that you're hoping for. 1 is dairy. Could be causing you inflammation and some digestive unrest and a lot of bloating that maybe you're not comfortable with. The second thing is not fasting long enough. Don't shortchange yourself. Your body will grow accustomed to fasting long enough for you to see the results that you're hoping for. Don't cheat yourself because your mind is talking you out of something you're refusing to let your body experience. Let it go and just give it a try. The third thing is not being consistent. Are you cheating the system by allowing those little exceptions into your life, or maybe justifying things that are keeping you from fasting long and feasting well? If you're not sure, I highly recommend journaling what you're doing in your day and tracking what it is that you're making those exceptions for, so it'll be right in front of you and you'll be able to analyze that a little bit better and then make changes accordingly. And then the fourth thing is stop following people blindly. Question the advice that is out there and then test it on your own body. You just might be that woman that thrives in an environment that survives on high amounts of animal protein. I am not someone to tell you that that's not good for you if that's where you are your best. I'm here to just share with you my own personal experiences and why I'm constantly testing out my nutrition and why I'm constantly adding things in and taking things out accordingly. So question things, experiment, and then adjust accordingly. I hope this offers you some advice if you're feeling frustrated or stuck, or maybe you were really on a good path and then life handed you a little curveball and got you off track. Just come back to what you know. If you've been in my course before, you have access to your course content. Go back through your course as if you were a new student. Download all your PDFs. Do the classwork that's in there. If you're not a student of mine, take this advice as a warning sign that your body is screaming at you. If you're not getting results that you hoped for, something's not working for you, adjust accordingly. And then always know that we have an open invitation for you to jump into one of our courses, and our next one starts on the 8th of June. Okay, so let me go to YouTube first. I'm going to welcome everyone that's here, and I'm going to answer any questions or comments that you guys have available for me today. Let me see if I can get my my iPad up so I can read all your questions and comments today. And then Facebook, hang tight. And if you just jumped on, please leave me a comment so when I get over to Facebook, I can welcome you as well. Christina, thank you for jumping on with us today. You're from our August 2017 course. Trucker Cat Hikes, hello from Ohio. Sandy, hello. Lori, good to see you. Terry from Victoria, Columbia, welcome. Tara, hello. Jay Mitty, future May course grad, down 6 pounds with so much energy. Awesome, girlfriend. I am so excited for you. And you'll keep progressing with time and consistency. So take what you practice in these last 3 weeks. You've built an amazing foundation for yourself. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And you'll just keep getting better and better with time on that. Devon Joy, from the May class, so glad I enrolled. Every lesson is valuable and has helped me with my personalized IF plan. Excited to continue my healing journey. I'm excited for you too. And know all my May grads, keep coming back to these live broadcasts and check in with us so that we can help you stay on track as well. Liz from the 2019 class from San Diego, dairy sensitive, but goat and sheep does not affect me. Girlfriend, we're the same way. We are huge Manchego cheese fans. I think we eat it almost daily. I used to be a huge consumer of eggs as well. And I know eggs are definitely considered like a meat, but we used to eat eggs and I used to have no problem with them until I really started cutting out corn and soy. And then I found out that the eggs that I have been consuming, which are supposed to be the high-end eggs with really good farming practices and egg hatching practices and all of those kind of things, I found out they feed their chickens corn and soy. So I did a test and I eliminated those eggs from my feasts. And I feel so much better. Inflammation in my face has gone down. The bags under my eyes are definitely getting better and better. And think about all the money we as women spend on under eye bag reduction, right? Between the little sticky things that we put on there and all the ointments and the creams and all those kind of things. And what if those bags under your eyes were the direct result of something that you're consuming and we didn't have to spend all that money on those elixirs and creams and sticky little puffy reducing pads that we have to stick under our eyes? For me, it was corn. Once I eliminated the corn, the bags under my eyes really did start to go down, and I noticed them very infrequently now, and it's usually now just the result of not enough sleep. So consider how it is that you look and feel, and think about some things that could be causing that, and then make the direct connection, and then do the test and eliminate them for sure. So yeah, goat cheese and sheep cheese seems to be the two types of cheeses that definitely are not affecting us as much as others. Sherry, hello. My body craves sugar and carbs. Yeah, that just means you have to break the addiction for sure. And then know this too, that you know, our hormones are constantly in a state of adjustment because of sleep and stress and environmental factors and all those kind of things. So your hormones will never be perfect. Even if you have a series of amazing days, don't be shocked if every now and then one day pops up and you just have a day that you feel off. The same thing holds true with sugar and carb cravings. You can kick a carb craving and you can kick a sugar addiction, and then every now and then out of the blue you're going to crave some chocolate or some sugar. Just make sure that when you indulge in those type of things that you pick the best quality possible so you don't throw a bunch of other things out of whack. So know that there's nothing wrong with you once you break it. If you have an occasional craving, just make sure that you when you indulge in smart type of things. But you have to definitely eliminate it in the beginning. From New York City, fasting since late February, starting to see results, clothes fit looser. That's awesome. That means inflammation is going away. Laura, I've been told fasting can cause muscle loss. Is that true? Because I'm trying to gain muscle and lose fat. Laura, it is absolutely not true. Actually, when you're in a clean fasted state and you're fat adaptive, your human growth hormone is actually exponentially increased, and that really is what helps us retain lean muscle mass. So don't worry about that at all. I would say if you want to lose fat, the best way to do that is with fasting, and then you will actually see your muscles. Oftentimes what happens when especially women really start intermittent fasting is we lose a lot of inflammation, and so a lot of that inflammation, remember, takes up space between the muscle and the skin surface, right? So our skin looks fuller, and then we lose inflammation and our skin looks empty and baggy, especially for us ladies who are aging and we have collagen loss as well. Don't panic. All you have to do is go in and start doing some more exercise and then just write it out. And fasting long also helps our skin repair itself over time as well. So just stay the course, don't panic, everything will be fine. And then we just have to realize that our skin will never be what it was in its 20s, and we have to be okay with that as well. And then just do your best as far as exercise to just keep it consistent, and know that your body will adapt and take up that loose space as well. Sherry, I want to do the June 8th course, but already a graduate. I know I have access to the course, but want to receive the daily notification and just want to start fresh as I have derailed. Sherry, just use the link in the comment section. You can jump in with us in June for sure. Yvonne, oh my gosh, you are so right about holidays and parties throwing you off track. Yeah, for sure. And just do the best you can. For me, there's not very many holidays that I'm willing to risk feeling good for. And in our family, we have just created our own traditions that suit our family's needs. So you can always do that as well. Sandra from Birmingham, Alabama, graduate from the April course. Haven't done a 20-hour fast yet. A little scary. I do 17 to 19 hours. I do clean fast, but I haven't made it to 20-hour mark. Got to do that. Sandra, the best thing that you can do is just tell yourself, start a little early one day, an hour earlier on your fast one day, and then just tell yourself when you're going to break your fast the next day. Make it 20 hours and don't think about it. And then just don't break your fast so you get that 20-hour time, and don't count the hours, and you'll get there. And then you'll be shocked and question why it took you so long. So don't cheat yourself. That extra hour is amazing. And then Liz, I was not consistent in my journaling. When I journal, I am more accountable and stay on track. Yeah, so definitely get back into that journal for sure. Cynthia came in late, hope to watch later. Lisa, that's was me buying snacks for my family and then being the only one eating them. I was fooling anybody, just making excuses. Yeah, we've all been guilty of that. Oh, I bought the Cheez-Its for the kids, and then I used to sit in the pantry and drink a Diet Coke and eat Cheez-Its and Goldfish. And the kids never got any of them. So we have to be honest about those kind of things too. And then also realize that if it's food we shouldn't be eating, why in the heck are we feeding it to our kids? So we got to up the game on how we're feeding our kids as well. Patricia, question, can fasting help regulate elevated PTA hormone levels? Fasting helps really alleviate and help balance out everything in your body. Depending on how you're fasting and other factors in your life can keep things out of balance. So I say there's a lot of factors that come into play when balancing out any hormones, and being consistent with fasting, reducing stress, eating good foods, making sure the foods that you're eating aren't going to be hormone disruptors either. All of those things matter. So it's a big picture thing for sure. Simone from North Texas, March 2019, graduate, going strong with 24, feeling awesome, totally went gluten and grass-fed protein.
She meant gluten-free.
Went gluten-free and grass-fed protein. Awesome, girlfriend. That's great. Yeah, you want to make sure when you are doing animal protein that you know how those animals are being raised and what's in them. Remember, what you eat, what they eat, you eat. So if you're eating beef, you want to make sure it's grass-fed and grass-finished. The finished part is actually the most important part. So make sure you're reading those labels on those things as well. And then XXX Sunday, hello from Canada. Vicky, so excited, can't wait for the weight to drop. It'll drop, just stay consistent. Catherine, just wondering what foods are high in calcium if cutting out dairy. Remember, I did a whole YouTube video on this. As women, just like other things, we were misled. We do not need as much calcium as once reported. And there are calcium is present in a lot of other foods as well. So the best thing I could tell you is Google how to get calcium in your diet naturally and see some foods that come up for you. I think broccoli is one of those foods that is very high in calcium. And then I drink my water has calcium in it as well. So you can get some mineralized water with some calcium and then take a calcium supplement. I would take a calcium supplement over consuming cheese and dairy any day of the week. So consider the sources is a good thing. And then I would just Google how to get calcium in your diet and you'll see some things, some foods, vegetables especially, that are going to have some calcium in them. So just eat more of those. And then know that we are consuming too much calcium as women. There's a direct correlation between the amount of calcium we are feeding ourselves and the higher incidences of heart disease and heart attacks in women. Calcium, heart attacks, women, they all three go together. So don't over calcium your body. Don't take too much calcium. There's a book called, what is it called that's right up there? It's called The Magnesium Miracle, I think it's called. I think it's a blue one up there. I think it's called The Magnesium Miracle. It's a great book that really does explain why we are why we're magnesium deficient and why we should not be taking so much calcium. So get this book and this will help you for sure. And I'm sure in here she has lots of great food suggestions as well. So here's that one, Michael. Okay, let's see, where did I stop? Being consistent is the key. As I feel better, my mind starts to suggest I can take a little cheat. Then I read my positive thought of the day and let that thought go. May class and loving it. Linda, that's awesome. So you've set in new habits and you've identified the triggers, and now you have new things to trigger the bad triggers. So congratulations for you for doing the work on that and then identifying where your triggers are. That is key for sure. And then Christy, okay, in the 20-hour and have been hanging in there, down 8 pounds. Period was still tough though. That was an energy struggle. So Christy, all the side effects of your menstrual cycle and PMS will start to actually ease up as well. A lot of the things that we struggle with PMS, bad menstrual cramps, bad menstrual cycles in general, are the direct result of lifestyle. So as you start to clean things up and as you start to balance yourself, you'll start to you will start to notice that those things aren't as strong as well. So keep us posted on that. Hopefully you'll find some relief. Simone went gluten-free. Okay, got that one for sure. Kay, my husband asked me last night, do you change something in your diet? I asked him, keto breath. He said, yes. I rejoiced. I'm burning fat. Yes. Good for you, girlfriend. I always say if you have keto breath, congratulate yourselves. That's a good thing. And remember, keto breath is a byproduct of having excess ketones in your system. That will balance out as your body starts to become more efficient at utilizing your ketones as well. So congratulations to you for having keto breath. That's a win for sure. Lori, I made the mistake and had 1 scoop of ice cream today. Feel heavy and really didn't enjoy it. Way too sweet. I hadn't had sugar for 10 days. I need to rinse and repeat. Yep, just fast it away. Drink lots of water today and then just decide to start your fast and then have a good long fast through tomorrow. Before you know it, that feeling will be gone. Barb in Canada. Patricia, how to break addiction to sugar or cravings of carbs. You have to become a fat burner and have your body not be dependent on burning or utilizing sugar as its energy source. So it's definitely a process to get there, but it's not difficult. Christy, I feel smaller than the scale reflects. That's always the case, so that's why I always suggest staying off the scale. If your clothes are fitting you well, if you like what you see in the mirror, if you don't recognize the reflection of the woman who's walking with you in the glass when you pass by a glass pane, those are all good signs that you are doing the right things for yourself. Forget what the scale says. If you're happy and you're healthy and you're confident and comfortable in your own skin, the number on this scale is irrelevant. Let it go. It should not be anything that's going to influence your feelings about yourself in any way. So just let that one go for sure. Gem Mint, you love cheeseburgers. I think that's fantastic. Lillian, in the May course, and I love it. Just feeling so tired today, not sure why. Sometimes we just have tired days. Who knows why? So when I have a tired day, I drink tons of water and I fast long. I eat super light and clean, so I get a little deeper sense of the energized sense of calm, and the next day I feel amazing. So when you're feeling bad, what we naturally are conditioned to do is eat. And what I really like to train you guys to do when you're feeling bad is to fast. And your body will reset and adjust, and you'll come out of that feeling 10 times better than you could have ever imagined. And you'll learn that the hard way, because most of the time we don't trust the process, and you'll feel bad and you'll eat and you'll feel 10 times worse. So just tell yourself when you have a bad day to fast it away. Fasting fixes everything, and you'll feel amazing within 24 hours for sure. In May class, lost 8 pounds back on for past weeks. Scale not moving. Any suggestions? I do 17 to 19 hours fast. Yeah, I would say jump up to 20 hours and see what happens. See if you can break a plateau on that one. Yvonne, July graduate. Carmen, thanks for the channel. Lost 8 pounds with your info in a month from Puerto Rico. Congratulations. That's a huge win for sure. I have not been energetic during these past weeks despite 140 ounces of water intake. Any input? Yeah, I would say definitely just stick with it and add that little extra hour or two to your fast, and then be very, very critical of what you're doing in your feast for sure. Sherry, my weakness is wanting popcorn and sweet when going to the movies. Girlfriend, that popcorn at the movie theaters is like, Michael, plug your ears because he loves popcorn at the movie. It's like death in a bag. all the chemicals they're putting on that in their flavorings, God only knows what they're putting in that oil when they're frying it. There could be soy in that, could be throwing you off track as well. And then we know for a fact that popcorn and soy are two things in the United States of America that are produced not for the food industry. So think about that. Like corn and soy are produced primarily in our country for fuel sources. So what quality is most of those products being, what are they harvested at? What quality level? And corn is one of those mass produced products. So if you're eating popcorn at the movie theater, I guarantee you it's not organic. I guarantee you it's not the most expensive corn kernels. It's the cheapest. And they're going to charge you a fortune for it. So just make a commitment for yourself or a contract with yourself or create some boundaries that when you go to the movie theaters, it's to watch a movie and not consume popcorn and candy. And when you make that commitment to yourself and you have your partner, whoever it is you're going to see a movie with, understand how important that is to you, then you just skip the popcorn and the candy and you enjoy the movie. Go a little later, do whatever you have to do, but just don't buy it. Let's see. I have tried 15-hour fast for a week at a time and didn't see any difference while trying to stay low carb. That's because you didn't go all in. So try going all in. Let's see. Ruth from New Zealand. I've been the dabbler with this lifestyle. Need to jump in and be consistent and just do the 20 hours. I really enjoy your discussions. Thank you. Yeah, Ruth, jump into class. That's the best way to be consistent and to go all in for sure. Ginger Snap. I love doing one meal a day, but I stopped because my blood pressure was scary high. Normally it is fine. I read others' comments and saw it happen to others. Why? I don't know. But if it's not working for you, then I would definitely add in a second meal or just increase your feasting window, add in a little snack or something. See if your blood pressure settles back down. It could be what you put in your feast too. So I would evaluate that as well and see if there's any kind of foods that might be triggering that as well. And then I would definitely talk to your doctor about that one. Laura, how do I join your class? There's a link in the comment section right below your comment, Laura, so check that out. And then Stone, going on a cruise next week. I'm successful IF. For your recommendations, please, for a good week. Enjoy the heck out of your cruise. Don't eat breakfast if it's not something that you want to do. Have some nice black coffee delivered to your room on the cruise ship. And then know why you're going on a cruise. If you're going on a cruise to eat for an entire week, then go and enjoy your cruise and eat for an entire week. If you're going on the cruise to vacation, get some time away with your spouse, maybe see some places you've never been to before, then make that the primary focus of why you're on a cruise. We have been on a couple cruises. The food was absolutely amazing. We enjoyed the heck out of our formal dinner nights. We let the kids kind of enjoy some of the snacky type of foods on the cruise as well. But when Michael and I, we've been on cruises together, 2 or 3 times now. We come back and we lost weight. So don't use a cruise as an excuse to just go crazy on food if that's not your intention. So set your intentions before you go and then enjoy the heck out of yourself for sure. Okay, and my blood pressure is already low. Will keto cause it to be low? I don't know. I don't follow the ketogenic diet, but I have very low blood pressure as well. I'm the type of person that when I go to the doctor, he asks me if I've been fainting or I get lightheaded. No, I don't. I just have naturally low blood pressure. So what I have done is I put Himalayan salt on everything that I consume, and that has helped kind of raise it a little bit. So I would just watch it if you monitor it. I can monitor mine on my watch. I always feel fantastic, but I don't follow the ketogenic diet, so I can't give you advice on that. I do know that fasting really does fix everything, and then just eating a really good, sound, nutritional feasting lifestyle, and then just monitor your blood pressure and then see where it goes from there. Do I still fast at 20 hours? I do. I just don't do it as consistently as I used to because I vary things up now. I actually do some 30-hour fasts. I do some 18-hour fasts. Some days I don't fast at all. My body is completely healed, so I'm not battling any sort of hormonal imbalances, insulin resistance. I have no more diabetes. My brain feels fantastic. So I push longer fasts on those days where I don't feel my best, because that's the advice that I give here. When in doubt, fast it out. and then we just go with the flow of our life. So we have really gotten to a point with time and consistency and really being mature about what we're doing in our fasting and our feasting, where we can really build in some flexibility, and it has absolutely been fantastic. Okay, last one. I am caffeine sensitive, so I'm switching to decaf coffee. Does bulletproof coffee end my fast? Yes, it does. If you're trying to get a clean fast, it will for sure. Just enjoy your decaf coffee black. And then how long did it take you to get there? It took me about a year because I wasn't all in and I was listening to too many people's advice and I was screwing up my fasting and my feasting. Most women who are in our course see results within the first 7 days.
Thank you, Facebook people, Brady.
Okay, let me go to Facebook. My YouTube is never ending. Okay, let me go to Facebook and then I'll go back to YouTube. Thanks for jumping on with us today, you guys. Marie is here from the April course. Sue is here from graduating from our 2019 class. You are awesome, Sue. Thanks for joining us today. Teresa from just down the road is here. Appreciate you jumping in with us today. Tammy is here. The little Johnny rule video came in just in time. Yes, and we apply that rule all the time, and that's that kind of thing you can apply to the movie theater and barbecues on Memorial Day weekend, holidays, all those kind of things, those little incidental parties that pop up everywhere. Create boundaries and rules for yourself and the way you want to live your life, and then just stick to those regardless of where you are, and it'll never ever fail you. Tammy, Brandy, stopping by since August 2017. Thanks for joining us today. Let's see who else is here. Ingrid is here. Good to see you, girlfriend. Gretchen in the May class. Sheila is here. Karen from Oklahoma, graduate of October 2018. Still trying to get out of my head that I have not eaten over 20 hours. It's not difficult to fast that long, but the self-talk is so difficult to turn off thinking. Gee, it's time to eat. You haven't eaten for so long. Getting real with ourselves is the key, and the struggle is at the same time. Yeah, for sure. It's a mindset shift. So fasting long and feasting well, in my opinion, without being critical of myself, who failed for a long time, or anyone else, is the simplest thing we can do for ourselves. It's the media, it's social pressures, it's family members who don't understand what you're trying to do, it's misguided information from the food industry. Those are the things that really make this lifestyle difficult for us. And then you factor in our own personal emotional background, our food history, our family history, our birth story. All of those things matter and influence creating these kind of changes for ourselves. So what I would do, Karen, is I would create some triggers for yourself so that you distract yourself. So when you start thinking that way in your head, get up and go for a walk. Get up and change your surroundings. Pick up a book and start to read it. Turn on a podcast. Go fold some laundry. Like anything that you can do to just shift your thought pattern in your brain so you can quiet that down and think about something else. And then generally what happens is, and I know this happens to me a lot, is when I start to think like, oh man, it sure would be nice to break my fast right now, and then I go do some laundry or I preoccupy my mind on something else, then not only did I get to my 20-hour mark, but I got to like 22 or 23 hours and I didn't even notice it. So create triggers for yourself when your mind goes to those places to distract yourself, and you'll be able to get through it a lot easier for sure. Sharon from Ontario, Oregon, thanks for jumping on. Lori from Florida, thanks for jumping on with us. Deborah from New Jersey, grad of December and January, and F3 in current masterclass. Haven't been able to jump on a live class for a while, but when I do, it really helps. Thanks for all you do. Deborah, thanks for jumping on with us, and thanks for being in all of our courses that we offer as well. And then Nicole, June 2017. Judy, eat free range eggs. They run forage on their own. We thought we were doing that for sure, and then we found out that the company that was producing those eggs admitted that they feed their chickens corn and soy. So it's just easier for me just not to deal with it. We are not against eggs by any means. We have a restaurant in town that we go to that makes the most amazing deviled eggs, and so I just reserve my eggs for a time when it's a special thing, and I say that a lot here. We eat a lot of the meals we have at home. I shared with you my 5 favorite feasting foods, and those are on repeat at our house all the time. I save things like eggs when I go out to eat, if we go out to a brunch, or we go to our favorite restaurant that has the most amazing gourmet devil eggs, I will definitely eat eggs there. I used to be the girl that hard boiled like 72 eggs a week, and we would just eat them nonstop throughout our day as snacks. And so I just eliminated those kind of things, and we just don't cook them as much as at home. And I just feel so much better. So for me, there's really no need to go back, unless of course we get a chicken and we have our own eggs, and then I would for sure. Shannon, will bulletproof coffee end my fast? Yes, it will. If you're clean fasting, it will for sure. Sheila, wondering how often you do celery juicing and if there's a better time. Finally got a juicer, still feeling great. Okay, so I tested my blood when I was drinking celery juice. Celery juice did not affect my blood sugar levels and did not change the levels of ketones I had present in my system. So for me, it didn't affect me in any way. If you are clean fasting, I highly recommend that, or you're in the process of healing your body, I actually do recommend that for a good 3 weeks, you create the habits of clean fasting with nothing else in your fast. So this is for my more advanced students, this advice I'm going to give out here. The thing with juicing and celery and us is we only want to have organic celery, and the place that we go to have organic celery is constantly sold out. So I am not holding on to celery juice as the magic elixir for anything for me. If we can find celery, we juice it and it's great. It's super fun to have. If we can't find it, we just go about our day and clean fast the way we normally do. So if you're enjoying your celery juice, I say enjoy the heck out of it. Just don't rely on it to be something that's going to be a staple, that's going to be the be-all end-all for you, because then if celery is suddenly not available for you, you're going to be heartbroken. So use it as a treat for sure, and fit it in when it fits for you. And then Lindsay, what kind of flaxseed oil are you using in your breakfast shake? We were using, I don't know what the brand was called, but we got it from our Whole Foods store, and we got it in the refrigerated section, so you might want to look there. Amy, good to see you, girlfriend. I believe you just had a birthday, so happy birthday. And then Annette, why 20 hours? 20 hours just seems to be the time that works for us women who have a lot of backup in our system and have been battling insulin resistance type of things or hypoglycemic type of things, a lot of sugar backup problems. 20 hours gives us ample time to really let our body churn away at all the damage that's going on the inside. It just works for us. And so that's why we really do encourage it here in this community. Okay, was that it on Facebook, Michael? I believe. Oh, let's see, Cindy. Nope. You drink celery juice during your fast? I do occasionally, not every day. And like I said, I tested it and it changed nothing with my ketones and nothing with my personal body chemistry and my glucose. But if I were clean fasting, I would not incorporate celery juice at all. I would just clean fast for sure. Lori, can you have hot tea on a fast? Yes, you can, as long as there's no flavors or sweeteners or anything in it other than tea. So please understand me and hear me with the celery juice thing. If your intention is to clean fast, you should be clean fasting. If your body is not healed, I highly recommend fasting long and feasting well in a clean state for enough time to really reset your body and not be dependent on anything except the state of hungry. When you have put enough time and consistency and you've built a comfort level in your foundation, emotionally you've rewired your brain about food, and you feel really mature in your fasting, then I highly recommend and encourage you to start playing around with some different things, because there's a lot of really good information out there. But if you're using celery juice as a crutch, or you're using celery juice as something that's going to make it easier for you, you're just cheating yourself out of the process. So keep the celery juice to a point when you actually are really fasting long and clean on your own, and you are comfortable in the state of hungry for sure. Okay, let's see. How long did it take me to get there? It took me a long time. I think I already said that one. How do you know when you're healed? You know when you're healed, trust me. Your brain comes back and it's fully functioning. You reduce inflammation. Your clothes are fitting better. You feel very empowered in food situations. You don't feel guilt. You don't feel remorse. You're not questioning your motives. You stick to the guns for what you say you want for yourself. You stick up for yourself in food bullying situations. Being healed to me encompasses the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical aspects of living this lifestyle. And if you don't have all four of those things in check, then I say you probably have a little bit more work to do, because life will come at you and it'll derail you and you won't be able to get yourself back on. So we got to work on all aspects of that for sure. Let me see. Hello, Roberta from Massachusetts. Mary in the May class, and I love it when what is covered in June. You guys in my May class have a course that's opening up for you in June. So go to your course, make sure you watch today's lesson and tomorrow's lesson, and you'll see what's coming up for you guys. So you'll have some stuff to do in June together as well. And then Delaney, scale is going out the window every time I fall. It's the scale. Throw it out the window, take it to a neighbor's house, donate it to some shelter or something like that. You don't need it for sure. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when you go to the doctor's office as well, you can decline to 1, be weighed, or 2, to have them tell you what your weight is. There's no need for a doctor to weigh you. That's their own personal thing, and you can decline to have that happen if it throws you off track. So just so you know that as well.
A lot of misguided
What?
read.
Oh, that's right, I am. Okay, my husband is amazing. He's keeping me on track here. Delaney, scale. Okay, no, Roberta. A lot of misguided information from people who don't know what they are talking about. Okay, here's the deal with misguided information and people not knowing what they're talking about. People are sharing their own personal experience. But if I'm a 230-pound weightlifting man in my 30s, I might not have the best advice for you as a woman in her 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s who is suffering from some of the things that we go through as our hormones change. If I'm a 20-year-old physique model who's fasting and competing in physique competitions, I may not have the best advice for you, 60-year-old grandmother of 3 who just was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. I might not have the best advice for you. So take information in, consider the source, consider the information, ask yourself, how does this apply to me in the situation or season of life that I'm in? Experiment a little. What works, keep. What doesn't work, throw out the window. This holds true to science and clinical studies and research. If it doesn't apply to you, don't implement it. So consider the source for sure. One of the reasons it took me over a year to see results with my own health problems was because I was listening to people who didn't look like me and were not in the same season of life that I was in. So I took information, I considered it, I experimented, I tweaked, and then I found what worked for me, the season of life I am as a woman going through hormonal changes, and then I created a system that seems to be working for a lot of other women who look like me in the same season, and that is what I teach in my course, Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. So don't be afraid to play around, but consider the source and make sure that the person who you're taking advice from knows you and is considering you and your season of life that you're in, because that's very key and very important for you getting the results that you want and not being disappointed and throwing your body further out of whack. And that's important to remember as well. And then Michelle, April 2019 grad. I'm feeling so good, eating foods, mostly plant-based, nutrient-rich foods, looking for a non-dairy yogurt. Any recommendations? Michelle, I have spent so much money on non-dairy yogurts, coconut yogurt, almond milk yogurt, all those things. I would say that would be the best place for you to start. I personally have just don't even consume yogurt. We occasionally have like a Fage Greek yogurt if we're having like taco night or something like that, and we just want a little bit of Greek yogurt as a condiment with our dinner. But I no longer consume like dishes of yogurt. It just doesn't work in my nutritional window. I just don't have enough time or room for it. So those are the things I've eliminated as well. But if you want to look for something non-dairy, I would look for something that's coconut milk or almond milk. You can usually find those in the health food type of stores or in your grocery shopping like dairy yogurt section for sure. And yes, Carolyn, the June course is open for enrollment, so definitely get yourself signed up for sure.
You have 2, you Miss Christy Lynn. How long did it take you to get there?
Oh, I think I answered that one. It took me over a year because I was listening to the wrong people.
Sherry said, how do you know when you're healed?
You know, I answered that one too. You know when you're healed because the signs and signals will be there. You'll wake up one morning and you won't believe the body that you're in. Things will just change magically. That's why I say stay off the scale, because your own eyes, your own critical eyes will never deceive you. So if you are critical of how your body is looking when you're not feeling your best, and then one day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, whose amazing legs are those? Or if suddenly I can see the muscles in my arms, or my stomach is flat, go with that, girlfriend, because your eyes will not deceive you. And if your mind is speaking positively about your body, you're healing. And then just keep riding that wave for as long as you can.
Okay. Sherry has one more question.
Okay.
And tell her I said, sometimes you just got to have the popcorn.
Sometimes you do just have to have the popcorn. I 100% agree with you on that. You have to also have the conversation with yourself that if you have the popcorn, you're not going to hate on yourself the next day
Right.
and wonder why you have bags under your eyes, or why you feel bloated, or why your ankles hurt, or why you suddenly gained 10 pounds if you're putting yourself on a scale. You know exactly why those things happen, and as long as you own that, and you don't beat yourself up, and you're not pissed off at your husband because he sat next to you and ate popcorn too, and kind of like the smell and the crunch and all that kind of stuff just drew you in before you knew it, your hand was digging in the bag. I've had that happen too. Don't hate on anybody. Don't hate on yourself. Own the fact that you made a grown-up decision to eat popcorn. Enjoy the heck out of that popcorn. And the next day, drink lots of water, fast it away, and then just reminisce on how amazing the experience was, and then just go about your life. So it's the guilt, remorse, blame, shame, complaining about why your body feels out of whack. That's the problem. It's never the popcorn. It's the after fact of the popcorn that definitely becomes the problem. So girlfriend, I say eat your popcorn. I'm going out on a date night. Girl, you go. You go for sure. Yep, and then just don't be mad at your husband because he bought popcorn and forced you to eat it. Which Michael, now he asked me, are we having popcorn tonight? No, we're not. And then he definitely doesn't have popcorn with me, and he goes with the kids and he has popcorn with them. So I appreciate it for sure. Lisa's following the class. Thank you so much. Brenda from Arizona. This is my third day of 16-8. You are amazing. Thanks you, Brenda. You're amazing for jumping in. So keep at it. And then Lisa, I'm not tired anymore and sleep less now. I am only 12 to 14 hours due to my diabetic meds. But I'm guessing, but you're going to increase. Yeah, for sure. Okay, here's something about diabetic medication or medication in general. Remember, fasting heals, and medication covers symptoms and controls symptoms, right? So if you're healing and controlling at the same time, you get the double effect. So keep an eye on your body and how you're feeling, and tap into those signs and signals if you're on medication and fasting, and know that you're going to get the double positive effect. Go to your doctor, explain to your doctor what you are doing, and ask him to watch the doses of medication that you're taking and ask if you can have them reduced as you start to feel better. So keep an eye on that for sure, because that can be dangerous for people who aren't paying attention to that for sure. And the goal is to get off the medication. So fast your way to getting yourself off those medications for sure. Can I send donation every time you snap your fingers, please? Sure. Do I snap my fingers?
I didn't see you snap your fingers.
I don't snap. You mean if I do this, like my air quotes? Yeah, send it, please. I do this all the time. We'll get rich off my air quotes. Let's see. Anything else? And then we got to go.
You still work out? Your arms look very toned.
Yes, I do. I work out. I do my Peloton bike, and I run on the tread, and I make sure that I get 10 minutes, 10 minutes, count them, 10 minutes of arm workouts when I either run or ride. So I'm doing maybe 40 minutes total of strength training for my upper body per week, and then I'm riding on the bike and running on my tread.
Shannon said, how important is it to consume collagen peptides?
I think it's super important to consume collagen peptides, especially for us aging women, because our body stops producing collagen. So we have to actually put it into our body. So collagen peptides are not only great for your skin, hair, nails, but it's also good for your digestion as well. I use a Vital Proteins collagen peptides. If you want information about that, you can email me. And then I've got to run because we have a daughter we have to pick up from school. It has been fantastic having a conversation with you guys. Thank you for jumping on with us, giving us your time. I know time's precious, and I don't take that for granted. I love the comments that you guys bring to the table when we have these discussions. Go back and review the 4 things that could be throwing you off track. Be super critical about what you're doing in your fasting and feasting, and make sure that you are doing all the things that you say or you think you're doing to get the results that you are hoping for. We will see you back here Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, where Michael and I will come together and we'll talk about something that's related to intermittent fasting and living this keto-like lifestyle for our community. So bring your spouses, bring your significant others, bring your friends and family around, and we will have an amazing discussion on Friday. I hope to see you guys with